Dieting is just so much fun. Said no one ever. Hi, my name is Stephanie. I'm a therapist on Long Island, New York that specializes in the treatment of eating disorders and body image issues. I felt that this video is really warranted because I've been getting a lot of questions through various sources online about my take on restrictive eating and my take on dieting, and a lot of pushback on it. And I really want to explain because I think that where all of our wires are getting crossed is in the definition of restrictive eating. So to start off, I do understand and I do very much believe that there are foods that are more nutritious than others. I think we all can understand that and we all believe that. However, what my take on restrictive eating is, and personally I would say anyone who really has had any experience with an eating disorder or works with eating disorders would also agree that restrictive eating is in any way taking away or removing an entire food group or any type of foods from your diet 100%. Now, people say, oh, well, you can live without chocolate cake, you can live without ice cream, you can live without certain types of carbs, you can live without all of these things. And hey, I'm not denying that you can live without those types of food groups in your world. However, is that really the life that you want to live? Do you want to live your entire life with never having a cup of ice cream again, or any type of ice cream, or any type of cake, or any type of carbs, or anything? Is that really living? And at what expense does your mental health pay when you're constantly denying yourself? Now, my answer to all of this is intuitive eating, and that is a video I'm going to be posting soon because it's really important to talk about. But again, with restrictive, what I said before is removing any type of food group from your diet completely. Diet meaning what you eat throughout your life and throughout your day or however you want to do it, not meaning, I'm just talking about overall, general, your diet. So what's really important is that with restrictive eating, when you start to restrict yourself in any way, shape, or form, it's kind of like setting yourself up for failure. And the reason why I say this is I want you to think about a question that I have. So when you were younger, was there ever a time that your parents said, no, you couldn't do something, or don't touch that, and all of a sudden you had this incredible urge that you want to do that very thing that they said no to, or that you had that incredible urge to touch the thing that they said no to? Why is that? It's because we thrive or we love when things are off limits, and we have this type of human nature type of response that's like, oh gosh, what is it? It's a curiosity type of thing, and it's a thing that is almost really compelling to do, and sometimes really it feels impossible to resist. So let's turn that back to restrictive eating. When you tell yourself, and a lot of you probably have had this experience when you've gone on diets, when you say, okay, that's it. I'm never having a piece of cake a day in my life. I'm never having a slice of pizza a day in my life. I'm done with it. Then what happens? Maybe you're good for a day or two, but it's kind of like, again, don't think about the color red. What are you thinking of? My bet's the color red. My bets is if you're saying, I'm never having pizza again, you're going to be thinking about that pizza a lot. So how do we respond to this? Yes, I do understand that some foods are more nutritionally dense than others, and that we should be incorporating those more into our lives than we probably aren't going to be at our healthiest when we're having chocolate cake every day for breakfast. Understood. There's no denying that. There's no argument for me from that. However, if you really want a piece of chocolate cake, is it going to kill you? Is it going to make you fat? Is it going to make you all the things that you're horrified about hearing or horrified about being? Probably not, because when we're able to incorporate things into our lives, yes, in moderation or when we really want it, we can live healthy and balanced lives. Notice the word balanced. We can feed our body nutritionally. Let's say if we're constantly having what we perceive as healthy and taking away everything that we perceive as unhealthy, then what happens is that our mind, then we're denying ourselves, right? So when we're denying ourselves, we want to get that thing even more. Now, people seem to think that when I say don't go on any restrictive diets or don't try to restrict yourself, that means that a person's just going to huddle in a corner and eat cupcakes for the rest of their lives and nothing else. That's not what that means. It means that when we're able to incorporate things into our lives and when we're able to not forbid things from our lives, we will be able to live a more fulfilling life. And it's also important to note that our health physically is also dependent on our mental health. So if you're constantly denying yourself and saying things like you can't have this, you can't have that, then you might have a toll on your, and it probably will have a toll on your mental health. And then what happens? That's not a fun experience just in and of itself. But there's also stuff that happens in terms of the neurotransmitters that are being sent in your brain or not sent, or hormones that are being released, cortisol, stress, and that's not good for your bodies either. So when that cupcake or that piece of cake or that pizza that you're saying is not nutritional at all and you can live a very good life without that, is that really the life that you want to live, for one? And for two, at what cost is that to your physical health because you're denying yourself that piece of pizza or that slice of cake? Think about that. We are more at risk if we never have those things by the risk that our mental health may pose on our physical health. So why not be happy because you're giving yourself what you want when you want it? And that doesn't mean, again, that you're huddling in the corner eating cupcakes for the rest of your life. It's just meaning that nothing is off limits. And it's also about trusting your body, which is a whole other concept. And I know that's something really, really scary to look at. But another thing I wanted to touch on in this video is that all or nothing thinking. And I think that that's a big part of the response that I get sometimes for saying that restrictive eating is not the answer, because that usually says to me that someone believes that what I'm saying is that you will only have cupcakes in the corner for the rest of your life, as opposed to saying that no, you can have cupcakes, you can have cake, you can have your smoothies, you can have your salads, you can have your pizza, you can have your brown rice or your white rice, you can have whatever it is. And that doesn't mean that you're going to be making unhealthy choices all the time or less than healthy choices all the time. Rather, less than nutritious choices all the time. And when you're able to give your body what it needs and what it wants, you may be finding yourself more reaching for the things that are more satisfying, which are going to probably be the things that are more nutritious for the most part. But being able to indulge in that chocolate cake or whatever is also a very, very important part to your mental health. And in the long run, your physical health as well. It's not going to kill you. It's not going to do anything to you. So I hope that that clarifies a little bit of what I talk about with not engaging in restrictive eating. It does not say, and I never mean, that there are things that are undeniable in terms of what is more nutrient dense and what is not. It's about not being all or nothing, because all or nothing always sets us up for failure, and that is definitely a given. And there might be people who really thrive on restricting themselves, and I'm not so sure that that's always the healthiest choice for most people, but you know what, to each their own. And that's not up to me to make that decision, but it's something that I would like for you to reflect on. And yeah, I think that's really all I want to say for this video. I know there's a lot more, there's so much more I could talk about with this, but this video would probably get very, very, very long, and I'm going to address this more often in my next videos because it is such an important topic, and I know it's so counterculture, it's so different from the perspective that we're taught day in and day out in our lives and throughout school and all of this. It's very different, and it's something that I know is going to get a little bit of pushback, and that's okay, but I really do want to put as much education out there that I can in terms of people, so they can everyone can make their own informed choices when it comes to their health. And whether that be mentally or physically, and obviously a combination of both. So now I'm getting a little bit just rambly. So I just wanted to end that video on a note just asking you guys, what are your thoughts on it? Does it make sense what I'm saying? And do you feel that restriction is the answer, or do you think that there's a better answer out there? So just want to have a little bit of a discussion there, and I'm really open to hearing what you have to say. And if there's any parts of this or parts of this idea or concept that you want me to talk more about, please leave it in the comments so that I can make sure to make a video sooner rather than later and get that up sooner rather than later for you. If you like this video, please like it. If you like this type of content that talks more about eating issues, eating disorders, body image issues, general mental health and well-being, please subscribe to this channel. I would really, really appreciate it. If you're interested in learning more, also, I do have a blog. I'll leave that link in the description below. And I really hope that you guys have a marvelous rest of your day. Have a good one. Bye.